Hey, okay, so I guess I'm live. Hello, everybody. Let me get this party started. Today we're talking about 7 tips for capturing your pet's essence. Who's excited? Let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, or just give me a little comment to show me some love so that I know that you are here and you can see me. And if you can just let me know if my audio is good. Okay, I got a thumbs up on that as well, so I won't waste any more time with that. Let me just switch this up and we're going to get started. Today are 7 tips for capturing your pet's essence. Make sure your speakers are turned on. And I just want to say hello to you. If you're live, let me know by posting inside the comments because that's the only way I know if you're here. Say, hey, Miriam, I'm listening to you all the way from, and then just fill in your state, country, city, whatever it is. I'd love to give you a shout out. Be sure you eliminate distractions. That means silence your phone, shut the door. You deserve this time for yourself. Now, here's how to know if you're in the right place. If you want to paint your cats and dogs, actually, it doesn't have to be your cats. It could be just you just want to paint cats and dogs. You want to paint pet portraits, maybe professionally, maybe just for fun. Or you want to paint your pet and say, hey, that's my dog. So here's what, oh, by the way, I do want to hear from you. So whatever resonates for you, you want to paint your cats, maybe you want to paint other people's cats, you want to do commissions, let me know in the chat so I know why you showed up here today. And here's what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn tips for painting eyes. You're going to learn how to let go of perfectionism. You're going to learn how to get more, you're going to learn how to get more free instruction for watercolor pet portraits. I'm not going to be demonstrating today, but I'm going to tell you how you can sign up for a watercolor demonstration of a dog. It's happening next week. There will be nothing for sale today. I will just be telling you about how you can sign up for my next free masterclass. If you stay until the end, I'll also be hosting a Q&A, so you can ask me any questions, and I'll invite you to the additional free training to help you get started. All right, real quick, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Miriam Schulman. I've been a professional artist for about 20 years, founder of The Inspiration Place, which is an online art class site. So if you're ready to stop putting yourself on the back burner and invest in your creativity, you're in the right place. I've done it. I can show you how to do it too. And I've painted literally dozens of commission portraits. But what I'm most proud of is how I'm able to teach people just like you and pass on this knowledge and techniques and inspiration to my students, real people just like you. I absolutely love sharing what I know through free videos or live streams like these, and also through my classes. So here we go. Without further ado, 7 tips for capturing your pet's essence. Let's get right to it. So why do you want to paint pets? Make them as gifts, taking pet portrait commissions, or just paint for fun? Please share in the comments. And I also asked you to share earlier. So hopefully, I don't know if you're new to live streams, but there is a gap between when I start talking and I ask you a question and then the answer starts showing up. So just know if I don't see you, I'm not ignoring you. I just may not have seen it yet. So Brenda wants to paint her dog, and Anne wants to paint her cat, and Cynthia wants to do it for fun. And if I can't see your name, it's because of Facebook privacy issues. But awesome. I'm so glad. Thank you for sharing. It's so much more fun when we can have a little conversation back and forth. All right, before we get started, there are a few things I want you to pay attention to. Don't get stuck in perfectionist thinking. Let me just take a quick sip. I just finished recording a podcast. It's almost a full hour long, a solo podcast, and my voice is a little bit raw right now. So the way I teach watercolor painting is by showing you how to do more with less. That's my philosophy behind painting. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's very loose, very few brush strokes. And I also want you to focus on the practical advice I'm giving you today Do not focus on whether or not you have talent, and please don't indulge in I can't do it thinking. I want you to be very open-minded today. So with a little patience and practice and perseverance, you can do this. That's why I wanted to share with you so many pieces of artwork, not just that I've done, but done by my students who have taken this class, who just started off where you were. Today, you're going to learn some simple steps that'll save you a lot of that frustration. Paying close attention to the eyes is definitely key. Once you get those eyes right, everything else is going to fall into place. You can pretty much screw everything else up and it's going to look good. I promise. Don't get too nervous about painting too tightly or too heavy-handed. So here we go, 7 tips for capturing your pet's essence. If you're excited, give me a thumbs up, a heart, or just say, hey, Miriam, let's get to it now. All right, here we go. So cats have almond eyes. Let me show you. So you see how it's an oval shape? Sometimes when they stare right at you, it looks round, but most of the time it's oval. And I don't want you to be afraid of don't be afraid of letting the paint do its own thing. So let paint flow, especially when it comes to watercolor. When it's done, it can really look like a detailed eye, but the truth is there's actually not a lot of fussiness that's in there. In case you're wondering if you can do it too, I wanted to share my students' art of the same exact cat. So this is the cat I demonstrated. This is a cat by one of my students. Some of my students never painted a cat before they took my class, or they were complete beginners. I want to show you what's possible for you. Now, a dog is the only thing on this earth that loves you more than he loves himself. So by the way, this painting right here just got collected today, but by one of my really good friends who has a puppy, and she has like a golden doodle puppy. It reminded her of this little poodle dog. So now we're up to number 3. The best dog portraits are going to have those sweet brown eyes. There's very little white around the eyes of a dog. Let me just share with you an example so you can see how in this dog painting, there's very little of the whites showing. So pay attention to that when you're painting dog's eyes. Number 4, the pupils usually take up most of the eye. Look at this pug. Isn't he sweet? Do you see how the pupils take up most of it? And there's so little whites of the eyes showing. You barely can see it. Here is another painting by one of my students, Crystal Duncan. You can see what she did here. To make the color look natural, repeat the colors you used throughout your painting, no matter what color the rest of the dog is. So here is a class demonstration that I did of a German Shepherd, and you can see how I repeat the colors in the dog throughout, and I just want to share with you a student version of the same dog. All right, we're almost at the end of our 7 tips, which is awesome. There'll be plenty of time for lots of Q&A today. So number 6, the most important part is to put in the highlights. Highlights are going to make the eyes jump out of the painting. So you see how there's little eye highlights in this Labrador's eyes. Again, notice how there's very little whites of the eyes, how the pupils are so large, and really it's not a fussy eye. And finally, number 7, dog eyes usually have a dark outline, almost as if they're wearing eyeliner. So if you look at these dogs here, notice how it looks like they're wearing eyeliner around their eyes. Again, just going back to some of the things we've been talking about, the pupils take up most of the room. There's very little whites of the eyes. And of course, there's those gorgeous highlights. And here is a student painting of the same demonstration. Okay, this applies to cat eyes as well. I just want to show you what's possible for you. Okay, now I want to hear from you. Who's excited to start painting watercolor pet portraits? Share with me in the comments. Okay, so Tanda wants to do Christmas gifts for her family who have dogs and cats. That's a great idea. Melissa wants to paint her cats. All the reasons. Let's see what I've seen. A lot of people who want to paint, who are really excited. Melissa is so excited. Awesome. I'm so happy. Melly wants to paint for commissions. You can make a lot of money, actually. So especially dog portraits. Dog portraits, you can make a lot of money from dog portraits. One of my clients, Nicolene Mann, she actually made over $700 on her last dog portrait commission. It was a double dog portrait commission, and then she had a background, put in a background. And we have one more comment. Cynthia wants to paint her grandson's dog. Great. This is beautiful motivation. Okay, I'm going to move. Let me just hide the current comment, and I'm going to move ahead. If you want to go a little deeper with me, I have a free training for you. And I hope that either you've already signed up for it or this will motivate you to sign up. So I have a brand new free masterclass, Turn Your Passion for Pets into Perfect Portraits with the Schulman Art Process. It's schulmanart.com/masterclass. You'll discover how to use techniques for painting fur that's soft and natural. You'll explore how to choose and blend colors that beautifully match your real life fur babies. You'll learn the shape method for drawing pets that helps you sketch even if you think you can't draw. But here's the best part. So those of you who showed up here live today, those of you who've been tuning into my free video series, you're going to actually get to watch me demonstrate this Schnauzer dog. You'll get to see me demonstrate these principles in action. I will paint this dog from start to finish. To sign up for the free live masterclass, go to schulmanart.com/masterclass. And if you've already signed up, share with me in the comments so I can know and look for you next week. And if you sign up here today, do the same thing. As soon as just pause right now, go to another tab, sign yourself up, and come back here and let us know that you did it. Okay, let me tell you how to sign up. All right, when you go to this URL, schulmanart.com/masterclass, and Anna is popping it into the comments for us, both in the Facebook group and also on my Facebook page. By the way, I'm answering most of the questions today in the Facebook group. So if you want to ask questions, come join me in there. So when you go to this page, you'll see this here. Click the yellow button. You can choose your seat below. We have 3 showing scheduled next week. I may even add a 4th one, but right now you can choose between these 3 dates. There's 1 time on each of these dates right now. So you have to figure out what time it is in your time zone in the world. Fill out your details. If you want a reminder via text, then put your cell phone number. Otherwise, you don't have to. That's optional. And when you get to this page, that means that you're in. And make sure you click to add this to your calendar so you don't forget to show up. I love to see you there live. I'll be giving away my free watercolor supply list during the masterclass. And everyone who's there live will be able to ask me questions as I'm doing the demonstration. I can't wait to see you there. Okay, by the way, it doesn't cost anything for this masterclass. It's totally free. And at the end of the masterclass, I'll be opening up registration for Pet Portrait Academy. So I hope you'll be able to join me next week. Our first showing is in just a few days. Please make sure you save your seat now. All right, I am ready to take your questions. Or if you have takeaways to share, put that in the comments as well. I want to hear both your questions and your takeaways. Okay, yeah, I see some people signed up for Tuesday. Some people signed up for Wednesday. Okay, so my Australia friend, if you can reach out to us, we do have an unannounced one that may work for you for Wednesday, our Wednesday next week, which will be Thursday for you. At a time that should work for Australia. So just reach out to us, support@theinspirationplace.net with your email, and we'll sign you up for a live class. Okay, so now I'm going to be looking for some questions, and Anna's helping me out. So we're collecting your questions. Make sure you ask them now. I'm just going to share a couple of comments here until the questions roll in, since there's always a gap between when you post it and when I see it. So I have been painting pet portraits in pastel for a long time. Would love to master doing them in watercolor. Okay, cool. All right, if anybody has questions on painting. Oh, how long will the class be? It will be about an hour, give or take. It depends how long that Q&A goes. Do you have a supply list? So this is not going to be a paint along with me class. If you do want to do the videos, go to schulmanart.com/videos, because for the drawing portion of those videos, which is video number 2, you will be able to draw along, and I do give you what the supplies are. But for the live class that's next week, I'm going to be going very fast. So you're not going to have time to paint along. It's only a 1-hour demonstration, and I'm going to be demonstrating drawing tips as well as painting from start to finish. So unfortunately, you won't be able to paint along with me. It'll be more like Bob Ross, but I will be giving you lots of techniques, lots of tips. Be sure you bring your pen. I will be giving you a supply list. You can try it out on your own later. Great question. Okay, let me just hide this current comment. Okay, I have some questions. Will there be a replay? So we try to do a replay. We don't always promise it, but the replay won't be going out till Thursday. I don't want to keep you in suspense. If you can come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would love for you to join us, and that way you'll get your questions asked live. And like I said, we're giving a supply list to everybody who shows up. Okay, so that I think answers the questions we have today. I'm going to give just a few more moments just to make sure that we have answered everybody's questions. I'm going to put back on this. If you want that live masterclass, so I will be demonstrating a Schnauzer dog, a watercolor dog from start to finish, explaining my whole process as I go. I'll be right there with you. You can ask me questions about how I did it. And I can't wait to see you there next week. So go to schulmanart.com/masterclass and sign up. Love to see you there next week. And by the way, in case you're watching this not live, I'm talking about November 9, 10, or 11 in 2020. If you need a distraction from anything that's going on, this is it. This is your distraction. And I would love to help you be able to paint pet portraits in time for the holidays. Okay, I have one question came in while I was chatting. Cynthia, is there a certain brand of paint that you use? That's a great question, and one that I get asked all the time. So by the way, if you sign up, Cynthia, for my free video series, video number 3 talks all about watercolor supplies, and I go into a lot of depth about what colors I use and links to the supplies and what brushes I use and all those things. Don't worry, I am going to answer your question here today, Cynthia. I just want to make sure that you didn't miss out on that training, because I do answer that question there. So if you go to schulmanart.com/videos, there's 4 videos in all, and I believe the first 3 are already there. So you can start binge watching all of them. Video 1, video 2, video 3. Video 1 is an introduction. Video 2, I'm giving you how to draw. And video 3, I'm going really into depth about what supplies you need. So in terms of what brand paint, I prefer Winsor Newton because the colors are the brightest, but sometimes I like Holbein for certain colors. And one thing I really like about Holbein is that the color stays moist the longest. The colors do tend to be a little bit more subtle, and that could be your preference that you prefer it. When you're choosing the paint, always make sure you buy the best that you can afford. So buy artist grade paint. I know the paints can be pricey, so if you can't afford a large tube, just buy the 5 milliliter size. It's a lot smaller, so I would save money by getting a smaller tube, but not the cheaper brand or the cheaper level. Okay, I hope that answered your question, Cynthia. Okay, Melissa wants to know, how do I frame my final portraits? Great question, Melissa. So watercolor portraits, I always frame under a mat and under glass. So that is the way that you can preserve portraits. Now, I know nobody here asked this question, but this was a question that appeared in my email earlier today. And somebody thought that watercolor paints fade. If you use artist grade paints, they will last hundreds of years. The Brooklyn Museum in New York has a very large collection of watercolors by John Singer Sargent. They look just as beautiful as the day he painted them. Absolutely stunning. So watercolors preserved under glass can actually last longer than an oil painting. An oil painting does get dirty over time and it has to be restored. Oil painting doesn't have that. I mean, watercolor painting doesn't have that problem. Okay, so that's it for that. I'm just going to peek back into the comments. All right, so it looks like, oh, I have see one more thing. I signed up and don't remember which day. How do I find out which day I'm signed up for? Great question. So you can send an email to support@theinspirationplace.net and we will tell you which one you're signed up for. But I also encourage you, once you find out, add it to your calendar. So we do have on the thank you page, once you sign up, you can add it to your calendar. And by the way, if you signed up and you don't remember, you can sign up again. Just sign up again. Pick a day that works best for you now. And when you get to that thank you page, make sure that you click the yellow button and add it to your calendar so that you don't forget to show up. Okay, so I want somebody here, I'm not sure who it is, says that they like to mount it onto cradle boards, which is a great idea. That's not something that I do, but I know a lot of artists do that and like to do that. And a lot of collectors prefer if they're on boards because it saves them with the framing. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, I think that wraps it up. All right, everyone, let me just switch to the very last slide. I want to thank everybody who joined me here today live, and I want to thank everybody who watched me on the replay. Thank you so much for being with me here today, and I hope to see you next week during the live demo. Bye for now.